Hi everyone, welcome to Inside Google. So Google Step internship applications are open and a lot of people have reached out to me on LinkedIn asking what it is about and also the referral request for the same. So today we have Aarohi with us who have previously interned at Google, her Step internship, and she'll help us understand more about it. Welcome Aarohi.
Thank you, Raghav. Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. So, I am Aarohi Manchanda, and I am currently in the last semester of my BTech in Computer Science with Manipal University, Jaipur.
Mhm.
And I have completed my STEP internship with Google in 2022. And I completed a summer SWE internship with Google in 2023. And currently, I'm interning with Cisco.
Wow, nice. Yeah, tell us more about Step internship at Google.
This Step Intern is a program which has been introduced by Google a few years back only. So,
Okay.
STEP का full form is Student Training and Engineering Program. So, जैसे आपको पता है कि आजकल a lot of companies did not have programs for second year students. Like third year के लिए internships होती हैं, but second year onwards कोई grooming होती नहीं है. So,
Mhm.
program especially for second year students and encouraging underrepresented groups in technology and women in tech. So students can apply in their second year and इसमें दो टाइप के roles होते हैं, hardware step intern and software step intern. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay, okay. There are like two kind of openings. Hardware itself is a different opening on the portal or software is the different. Is it like this? या फिर आगे जाके it merges into कि आपको hardware में डाल रहे हैं या software में?
Not at all. It's a single opening only, and आगे जाके they actually divide the rules. If you're from an ECE background or from a core branch background, then it is preferred for you to apply for the hardware step intern if you're interested.
Got it, got it. What's the process to follow to apply for the same?
Okay, so um, the process will be different for on campus and off campus.
Mhm.
जैसे मेरे campus में Google did not come, so I applied off campus from Google's career site, and I applied back in November 2021, and I interned in 2022. So उस time पे there was not any coding test involved. The first round itself was resume elimination based on the career site application, and after that there were a couple of interviews, technical interviews, and I think that was about it. If you want to know the on campus process, then it is a little different. This on campus mein the company comes to your campus, they float out forms, and you have to fill those forms, and on the basis of that they will interview you. So there is no resume elimination, I think, per se. And on campus process is also shorter, like you get the results in within 2 or 3 days while interviews are happening in your campus, but for off campus it took me 2 months.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's quite long.
right.
So you applied on the career site, and how much time it did it took for you to receive the recruiter's call?
Okay. So I applied on the career site in November 2021. End May, November end May, the applications opened. And step into an applications, India may always open around November or December.
Okay.
So I think this year they're a little late. They're going on till January. Uh,
Mhm.
so I applied in November end, and I got the mail that I am supposed to move forward for interview in January, mid January.
Ah,
So,
okay.
there was another thing here, जैसे it is advised कि आप referral लेके apply करो, because if you get a referral, then the resume elimination part gets a lot easier for you, because your resume gets consideration in 10 thousands of resumes. But
Mhm.
उस time I was in third sem and मुझे इतना idea नहीं था कि referral LinkedIn पे कैसे approach करते हैं and कैसे होता है, तो
Mhm.
I did not have a referral. But I had a few things in my resume that luckily got my resume shortlisted, जो हम आगे डिस्कस करेंगे. So yeah, my resume got selected directly. I received a mail in mid January after applying in November end, so it's approximately 1.5 months.
Oh,
I am supposed to move on for the interviews.
got it, got it. So ये basically इसके बाद 2 महीने तुम्हें और लगे हैं ना? This time is not included in the 2 months, right?
Yeah, this time is included.
O-
November end to December, January, February end, then 3 months. Then yeah, 1.5 months before and 1.5 approximately months after.
ठीक है. So what's the interview process like? and basically an overview of what kind of rounds, how many rounds, what was the competencies of each of these rounds.
Okay. So after I got the mail ki I'm supposed to go forward for the interviews, that my resume has been shortlisted, we were asked to select a few dates that we were free on. And from the date of the mail, approximately 10 days later, my interview was scheduled. So the first interview was 10 days later, and हमें उससे पहले एक हमारी prep up meeting हुई थी for all the interviewees. तो उसमें बोला गया था कि all of us will have two interviews mostly, unless we are eliminated after the first interview. Uh, but the chances are less to eliminate after the first interview because they will probably like to judge us for two interviews at least.
Got it.
And उनको फिर भी कंफ्यूजन होती है आपके कैंडिडेचर पे या फिर दे थिंक दैट आप इंक्लाइन टू सेलेक्टेड हो बट दे नॉट वेरी श्योर देन दे माइट गो फॉरवर्ड फॉर अ थर्ड और फोर्थ इंटरव्यू इवन.
Oh, okay, okay.
सो फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू हुआ मेरा. देन फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू के बाद फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू वाज a very good in my opinion. Second interview मेरा okay गया था. So
Mhm.
that's why second interview के बाद I had to wait 10 days more, 10 to 15 days more, and then I got a reply that uh, they want to go forward with the third interview. As I mentioned कि they
Mm.
might go forward for more interviews. So मेरा एक थर्ड इंटरव्यू भी schedule हुआ था and that interview went well. So उसके बाद भी I had to wait approximately 20-25 days, 1 month for my acceptance letter to come. So that was the whole procedure.
और ये इंटरव्यू राउंड्स बेसिकली डीएसए ही जज कर रहे थे.
So yeah, the interviews were purely technical interviews. So सारे interviews same format के थे, 45 minute interviews, and उसमें you will be mostly asked two DSA questions, or if it's very tough or something then one DSA question, but it will be purely DSA. थोड़ा बहुत वो आपके resume पे भी पूछ सकते हैं, starting में introduction वगैरह पूछ सकते हैं, but that will just be an icebreaker. The whole interview will be technical.
Got it. So, and I guess you were expected to code out the solution as well.
Right, right.
Complete circuit code, right?
Right, right. That was very important. So हमें we were shared Google Doc. So हमें पूरी approach explain पहले interview से discuss करनी थी short में, and then we had to start writing the complete code. And it is always appreciated in such interviews जैसे कि code आपका clean हो and you write good variables and you don't write pseudo code, you write complete code and जैसे assume मत करो चीजें. So we had to follow the whole procedure.
Okay, nice. I'll add on one more point. Consider writing test cases also from yourself before, like, do not wait for the interviewer to ask for it. That's also an important thing.
Uh,
Uh,
मेंशनिंग वन थिंग हियर ऑल्सो दैट जैसे जो स्टेप इंटर्न इंटरव्यूज थे वो हमारे थर्ड सेमेस्टर के एंड में थे. सो देयर वाज अ बिट ऑफ लीनियंसी इन्वॉल्वड इन द सेंस कि अगर आपके नॉर्मल इंटरव्यूज में जॉब इंटरव्यूज में टेस्ट केसेस का बिल्कुल लीनियंसी नहीं देते तो वहाँ पे हमें थोड़ा बहुत कॉर्नर केसेस में हेल्प कर रहे थे बिकॉज दे अंडरस्टूड कि आप थर्ड सेम के स्टूडेंट्स हो अभी. तो द इंटरव्यू लेवल्स आर अ बिट इजियर देन जॉब लेवल या फिर थर्ड ईयर इन समर इंटर्नशिप लेवल.
got it. Yeah, in that way, interviewers do want to support you throughout the process. When you got the results from your recruiter, then how much time did it took for offer letter to come?
So I think my result came very late because of the whole process being delayed. तो February end में आया था result तो मेरे को offer letter 3-4 दिन में ही आ गया था. But some people who got selected earlier in November, December, they also got the offer letter in March only. So I think that was the deadline to give offer letters. तो मेरे acceptance जल्दी ही आ गया था.
Got it. Can you share some pointers on how did you prepare for this or how much DSA grilling did you do on the same?
My answer could be a little biased because जैसे मेरे पास 11th and 12th standard में C++ थी. So my syllabus was the whole of C++, stacks, queues, trees तक. So a
Mhm.
lot of things I had already covered in my 11th and 12th standard. So I was not very regular in my first year, but I was still practicing. But
Mhm.
those years had an added advantage on me that I already knew all the concepts. So
Mhm.
uh, So I was practicing DSA thoroughly in my third semester. I had done over like lead code पे questions and geeks for geeks पे 200 plus questions. So I was practicing DSA, and उसके अलावा when I got my interview mail, I had approximately 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So there is this course by Prateek Narang on Udemy, which is he's also an ex-Googler only. So he has three courses ka series, which is one is DS Essentials, and the second one goes Master DSA, and then the third one goes CP something. So वो step and turn के लिए first and second courses were enough. So I had a like course marathon in like 4 to 5 days. I finished like ऐसे ऊपर से videos वगैरह की मेरे
Mm-hmm.
कॉन्सेप्ट एक बार रिवाइव हो जाए, जो मैं कॉन्सेप्ट छोड़ रही हूँ थोड़ा, ग्राफ्स के जो मैंने पहले नहीं पढ़े थे वो सब भी रिवाइज हो जाए. देन उसके ऊपर से आई followed like there is this Geeks for Geeks पे product most asked questions by product companies का list. So
हाँ,
the
nice.
the list is combined and this is segregated topic wise.
Yes, yes, yes.
And उसमें easy hard medium के हिसाब से होता है.
Mm-hmm.
Then it completely depends because आप 10 दिन की गैप में इतना सब नहीं कर सकते हो. So you
नहीं,
have.
बट आई गेस वो 10 दिन की प्रिपरेशन उतनी काम नहीं आती है, बिकॉज अगर तुम कह रही हो कि तुमने 200 क्वेश्चन किए हैं,
हाँ
दैट
जी.
वुड मीन कि तुमने काफ़ी टाइम से तैयारी, या फिर अपनी इंटरेस्ट के लिए या अपनी हॉबी के लिए, या फ्रॉम वट एवर परस्पेक्टिव तुम प्रिपेयर करती आ रही थी. आई
Right.
और एंड के 10 दिनों में तो आई गेस यू जस्ट ब्रश अप ऑल द थिंग्स वट एवर यू कुड, राइट?
राइट, राइट, राइट. सो एंड के दिनों में आई यूज्ड टू डू इट लाइक दिस ओनली कि आप क्वेश्चन देख रहे हो तो आप उसको हाफ एन आवर से ज़्यादा मत दो. जस्ट ट्राई टू कवर एज मच रिविजन एज पॉसिबल. देयर वाज आल्सो दिस वन साइट प्रैम्प करके साइट है, pramp.com. उस पे आपको ऐसे मॉक इंटरव्यूज मिल जाता है. सो दे यू टाइप इन योर प्रेफरेंस डीएसए एंड योर लेवल एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड दे विल सेट यू अप विद सम स्ट्रेंजर जो आपका इंटरव्यू लेगा और आप उसका इंटरव्यू लोगे. सो आई गिव सम मॉक इंटरव्यूज देयर आल्सो. तो आई थिंक वो 10 दिन का प्रेपरेशन आपका सारा रिविजन और आपका इंटरव्यू स्ट्रेस निकालने में हेल्प करता है, क्योंकि अगर आप मॉक इंटरव्यूज नहीं दोगे तो आपको कितना भी आता होगा, आप फाइनल डे पे फ्लक्चुएट कर सकते हैं.
राइट. I
सो
guess it's good to give mock interviews to see कि हाँ क्या उस मोमेंट की वाइब होती है. तो
राइट.
वाइब तो क्या, प्रेशर ही, बट स्टिल.
राइट.
पर बट व्हाट आई हैव सीन इज कि जो वो 10 दिन में अगर तुम सिर्फ वो 10 दिन उठा रहे हो कुछ चीजें करने के, तो तुम ज्यादा एक प्रेशर मोड में रहोगे, बजाय कि अगर तुमने अपने हिसाब से 150 200 जो भी तुमने नंबर फिक्स किया अपने लिए, या जो भी इनफ नंबर है वो तुमने किया है ओवर द टाइम, देन इवन इफ यू डोंट रिवाइज यू आर गुड टू गो, बिकॉज तुमने एक वेराइटी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस कर लिए हैं खुद से. एक एक क्वेश्चन पे तुमने काफी टाइम लगाया है, तो दैट हेल्प्स, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आई थिंक गूगल के क्वेश्चंस एकदम सेम मैच नहीं होते. तो वो एक चीज है.
ट्रू, आई थिंक दैट्स ट्रू. बट नॉट टू मेंशन हियर, जैसे मैंने बोला कि आई ऑलरेडी हैड सी प्लस इन 11th एंड 12th. सो वो 200 क्वेश्चंस का कंट्रीब्यूशन मेरे लिए इजी हो गया था. एंड रिवीजन ऑब्वियसली वाज द चेरी ऑन टॉप कि इतना मतलब जैसे 10 डे उन 10 डेज में आई थिंक एनीवन जिसको भी इंटरव्यू आया था, जिसको भी मैं जानती हूँ जिसने इंटरव्यूज दिए थे, वो पूरा पूरा दिन उस पे ही दे रहे थे. सो यू हैड टू रिवाइज अ लॉट ऑफ स्टफ. यू वर स्टडीइंग लाइक 10 to 12 hours a day उन 10 दिन के लिए. So I think revision भी मैटर करता है थोड़ा बहुत, I think so. But yeah, it's more of your long term preparation because 10 दिन में आप सब कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं.
नाइस. Since you said initially कि you cold applied and resume screening was main thing at that time, so what all pointers did you add in your resume? Maybe you can call out a few of them जो तुम्हारे हिसाब से एक highlighting चीजें थी या करनी चाहिए वो चीजें.
श्योर, श्योर. सो जहाँ तक मुझे अभी समझ आया है, रेज्यूमे एलिमिनेशन इज़ अ वेरी ट्रिकी प्रोसेस बिकॉज़ आपका कैसा भी रेज्यूमे हो, इट मे गेट शॉर्टलिस्टेड इन वन कंपनी एंड नॉट गेट शॉर्टलिस्टेड इन अनदर कंपनी बिकॉज़ दे हैव इतने सारे रेज्यूमेज़ एंड वो ऑटोमेटेड शॉर्टलिस्टिंग होती है. सो जहाँ तक मुझे उस टाइम पे समझ आया था, एवरीवन टोल्ड मी दैट जितने भी पिछले स्टेप इंटर्न्स जिनसे मैंने एडवाइस लिया, दे टोल्ड मी कि जैसे डोंट focus on one thing. As I was very worried that I don't have a previous internship. So they just said कि your resume should show that you are inclined towards tech. कि तुमने 3 सेमेस्टर या 4 सेमेस्टर जो भी कॉलेज में अभी तक किए हैं, that you
Mhm.
are consistently doing something in technology, that you are not wasting your time. So you're just inclined towards tech. So my resume did not have a previous internship, but if you do have an internship, that's good for you, add it. Then it had 2 to 3 hackathon prizes. I took part in hackathons and made some projects based on that. तो वो प्रोजेक्ट्स थे और उनके बेस पे प्राइजेस भी थे कुछ कुछ, तो मैंने वो ऐड करे. अगर हैकाथॉन में फिर इंटरेस्टेड इन competitive coding या codathons, you can add that. I was not doing competitive coding back then, so मैंने नहीं ऐड किया था वो.
Okay.
You can add the number of questions you've done on different platforms या उसके links ऐड कर सकते हो. One
Mhm.
major thing that I think that was the standout in my resume was that in my first year summer, I wrote a book chapter on based on healthcare in IoT and big data. So that was under a professor in NSUT. So that was not published yet, but it is very important कि तुम्हारा जो भी प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट नहीं है, कुछ भी अंडर पब्लिशिंग भी है, तो तुम उसको मेंशन कर दो रेज्यूमे. You're still a student, so
Mhm.
that you need to wait for you to add things. So just keep adding and write it is in processing and it is in publishing. So I mentioned that I have written a book chapter for a technical book. So I think that was one of the big highlights because उस फर्स्ट ईयर या सेकंड ईयर में बाकी बच्चों का शायद वो नहीं था एज. बाकी तो वट एवर यू हैव, वट एवर कोर्सेज यू डन, वो सब ऐड कर सकते हो. तो यू जस्ट हैव टू शो देम दैट यू आर कंसिस्टेंटली डूइंग समथिंग इन योर 3 सेमेस्टर. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि तुमने लास्ट एक महीने का ही सब कुछ ऐड कर दिया है, बट दे.
हाँ,
सो
right.
रेज्यूमे आपका अच्छे से बिल्ड होना चाहिए. इट शुड बी कंसाइज, इट शुड बी वन पेजर, इट शुड हैव ऑल द गुड कीवर्ड्स एंड सब कुछ हाइपर लिंक कर दो प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड इट शुड बी अंडरलाइन, इट शुड बी क्वांटिफाइड की नंबर्स में हो सब कुछ. इफ यू राइटिंग की मैं हैकाथॉन में जीती, दे डोंट नो कि कितने लोगों में जीते, सो यू शुड राइट टॉप 10 या फिर ऐसे अमंग 100 टीम्स. सो देयर वर अ
Mhm.
लॉट ऑफ एग्जैक्ट रेज्यूमे टिप्स दैट आई फॉलोड फॉर अ गुड रेज्यूमे.
Nice, nice. तुम्हारा रिज्यूमे सही में काफी डिटेल्ड लग रहा है. You have called out most of the metrics. So that's, I think, a commendable job you have done there. Finally, तुम्हें offer आ गया and then joined, right? That needed relocation or it was virtual?
So in 2022 it was virtual
Okay.
because of the COVID scenario back then. I think most of the companies did their summer internships virtual.
Okay, okay. Any highlights or any experiences, if you can share from your 2 month internship or any learnings, that would
Definitely.
also be helpful.
Definitely. So even though my internship was virtual, जैसे हम लोग पहले बहुत excited थे कि in office होगा, but
Uh,
it was still very amazing. The internship team did a great job at holding all the events. We used to have Friday intern offsites, and we used to interact with other interns. We used to have events and gaming sessions. उसके अलावा I was a part of the API developer tools team, and मेरा project was a part of service infrastructure. So I got to work on testing APIs, and I got to work in a completely new tech stack and language that I didn't know. I used to code in C++, but
mhm,
it was in Python. So बहुत सारा learning involved था, बहुत fast learning curve involved था, and ये मेरा first corporate experience था. So
mhm,
everyone was super supportive. Like in my team, I was the only second year intern, and so everyone was very supportive of that fact, and everyone used to help me out in my whole project. And my first project got completed earlier, so I even did a second project after that. So internship was completely filled with learning, and in my first week only we got to interact with a lot of leaders. मतलब मेरी टीम में जो higher up leaders हैं उनसे interact करने मिला, and they used to give a lot of valuable advice. Like they used to say कि technical is the last thing that you will learn in this experience. It is a lot more interpersonal and corporate experience that you learn, and that was very true. I think when you start working in a actual setup, then it is very different कि तुम घर पे अपने आप प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हो, and you have to collaborate with others. You have to see कि कौन से फीचर पे कौन काम कर रहा है, and you have to take in all that feedback. So it was an amazing experience overall. And the part that I missed on the physical on-site wala part, I got to catch up on it a year later because I got my return offer for this summer sweet internship, and
mhm.
that was in Bangalore on site. So that was even like uh, more amazing because the Google office is wonderful.
And you were in our team.
I was in your yes. Yes.
So got like summer internship offer. So is it a different? Is, so that is dependent on your step internship, is it?
Yes, yes, definitely. So, for step interns, आपकी performance के basis पे ही they will you have your final evaluation, and then they will decide if you get a return internship offer next year or not. And if you don't, then I don't think that you are allowed to apply after that
Oh,
for the
वैसा है.
same role at least. Then you have to apply the next to next year.
विंटर वाली में अप्लाई कर सकते हो आप,
हाँ जी,
विच
yes,
इज अ 6 month internship, आई थिंक.
yes, yes. But first, interns, the return offer is completely dependent on your performance.
Got it, got it. That's even new to me. Very insightful. I guess we have covered almost everything.
Yeah, I think yeah, I had a great time sharing all of this. Even I was receiving a lot of queries. आजकल step intern के applications हैं तो बहुत messages आ रहे थे. तो I hope that this vlog is gonna help a lot of people.
Yeah, I hope so too. Well, thank you, Arohi, for taking the time and share your valuable experience and insights. I hope that this would anyone who is at this stage would find it very, very helpful.
And thanks a lot, Raghav, for giving me this opportunity to share so much. And everyone, please do subscribe inside Google.
Well, thank you, Arohi. Uh, you had a blog also written on the same, I believe.
Yes, yes, I do. I do. You
Uh,
can attach the link.
okay.
Um,
I'll add it as a link in the description. Please do check out that as well. Thank you.